Okay, I'm here with Candace Gantt, uh, and she is founder of Mind Your Brain. Candace, can you tell us about what that is?
Yes, thanks, Tony. It's good to see you. So, Mind Your Brain started 6 years ago after I was introduced to my neurosurgeon, who I didn't know before, but now I'm quite familiar with, Dr. Sean Grady. And when I went back for I was a brain injury survivor, and that's really how it all started. And Sean Grady introduced me to the Center for Brain Injury Repair as I was recovering from my injuries, and suggested that we have a patient-centered conference at Penn to help other brain injury survivors find their resources to recover. That was really our mission.
Well, Candace, I know that you were you suffered a very serious brain injury 15 years ago. You were a triathlete, and you were training for on a bike run when you were hit by a truck and suffered a brain injury, and you had a long period of hospitalization. You were comatose, and then, of course, you had that initial acute hospitalization and then rehabilitation. But did you find some gap in the treatment after you were finished that, with the acute treatment and the rehabilitation that caused you to form Mind Your Brain?
Yes, indeed. That there was a huge gap, and some people call it a canyon, between when you finish your inpatient rehabilitation. So that was at Bryn Mawr Rehabilitation, and I spent 8 months there inpatient and then 6 more months outpatient. And when that was complete, and I graduated and considered having executive function. I was high functioning, which I knew when I quote unquote graduated that I had a long way to go, that I was not satisfied. I had such deficits still that I was desperate for additional support. How do I get help for all these deficits that I still have? And that was the gap, because once my insurance was exhausted, there were no other resources and nowhere to turn. And that really was the impetus of my design and my passion to organize a conference that would help connect these survivors with all the information that I had found. It was out there, but it wasn't easily accessible. And I didn't know, there was no roadmap for me. And that's what I wanted to provide for other brain injury survivors, is an opportunity to invest and to know that hope and help is out there.
So if someone were to tap into what you've been able to accomplish for brain injury survivors in that regard, what should they do?
Absolutely. So, Tony, they should contact I would say actually two or three places I'll recommend. And the first is, of course, to go to the website for Mind Your Brain Foundation. And that will talk about the conferences. So come in person and when we're able to, and we're hoping for next spring in 2021 to have a conference, and come there and enjoy the fellowship and the workshops and be introduced to uh, some experts in the area, some world-class experts that can help you. And everybody's injury is different. So there's people that will help you with vestibular rehabilitation and vision, and talk to you about healthcare that is so vitally important, how to take care of yourself, self-care. And then the second resource I would say is to go to the Brain Injury Association of Pennsylvania and their website, and that's BIAPA, which are the acronyms for the Brain Injury Association of Pennsylvania. And they have resources on their website as well. And the third thing, if you have any specific questions or want to understand more about the services that the state provides for rehabilitation, the Brain Injury Association of Pennsylvania has a BURL line. So that's a brain injury resource line. And you can call them. And I'm happy to give you the telephone number, Tony, or you could
Yeah,
provide
please.
it
Why
for
don't
them.
you give that to us?
Sure. The telephone number is 1-800-444 6443. And that's the BURL line, again, an acronym for the Brain Injury Resource Line. And you can record a message and someone will get right back to you and just describe what challenges you have, and they'll find a resource for you, kind of like a
And
personal concierge.
thank you. And everybody, I would encourage you to go to Mind Your Brain website as well, and you can read about Candace and her life before her brain injury and her recovery afterwards. It's fascinating, and it also is inspiring. So, Candace, thanks for being here. And I just want to ask you about one last thing, which I think is so important, and that is, can you explain to people, based upon your own personal experience and the many, many brain injury survivors that you've worked with and spoken to and tried to help over the years, what do you think is an important part of any recovery from a brain injury?
Tony, I think the most important thing, well, there's actually two, I would say, equally important. One is to invest your time. Look at it as if it's a full-time job and map out your day. And I think that helps us because it's difficult to be organized. So write a list of things that you can accomplish. And maybe there's only 2 things on your list, or maybe there's 5, and then check them off as you accomplish them each day. You're going to read an article about brain injury, or you're going to listen to a podcast. Maybe it's that you're going to make a nutritious meal, or you're going to take a walk. Some simple things that you can do so you have a sense of accomplishment. And they might be baby steps, which is great, because any forward motion, and I would tell everybody, it's a marathon. It's a really long road, and you just have to keep at it and don't despair, because even the smallest steps will help you. And I think that a positive attitude, I think, is a critical part of that as well. That celebrate your small accomplishments, as little as they are. Tell someone in your family, I'm going to accomplish this today. And then at the end of the day, celebrate, or the next day. And it might be 2 steps forward and 1 back, and that's okay. And you tell yourself, but I got this. I can be successful at this, and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know I can do this, and do some positive reinforcement with yourself.
So I heard you say 2 things, and that is to create a list of things to do, and
Mhm.
then to celebrate in the accomplishments that you've made and checking off those items on your list, and that to approach those activities with as good an attitude as you can. So why are those combination of things so important to recovery for brain injury patients, survivors?
It's, I think they're important because you can get discouraged. You're not the same person that you used to be. You look back and you kind of mourn who you used to be. And if you concentrate on what's behind you, you won't see what's in front of you. So for me, I had a family to raise. I didn't know who was taking care of them. I couldn't drive them to school. And it's easy to get caught up in what I can't do. But then when I started to work on the foundation and I talked with other people that were survivors, that gave me the encouragement and the positive attitude that I was moving in a different direction than I expected, but it's a good one. And that could mean for other people that they just take a turn in their life that they hadn't expected. But I would tell you that it would probably be very fulfilling and try something new and different.
Candace, you're now 15 years from your brain injury. Are you fully recovered?
I am not, and you might, and that's, I think, the invisible part of of the challenges that we have, is that I look good, I feel good, I speak in complete sentences now, which I couldn't do 10 years ago. But I also have sensitivity. I also am very tired at night. As my husband would say, have you run out of words? Yes, my brain has run out of words and it's time to take a break. And I have to be very cognizant of that. I think the other thing is that my overstimulation if I'm in large crowds. So I avoid that. And so I have techniques and I have strategies that I use, and it keeps me happy and focused, and I don't dwell on them, but I just overcome them.
Candace, it's been great speaking with you, and I really appreciate your sharing your story And I would encourage everybody to go to Mind Your Brain, both to be inspired as well as to be guided. And thank you very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure talking with you.
Bye bye.
Bye.